Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Rebel Inc. Escalation custom scenarios. We're going to try out a scenario that's supposed to be very, very different from what you are used to. It is called Rebirth from Radiation. And apparently this is a scenario that doesn't have any insurgents, and yet somehow still managed to be a bit of a difficult scenario. So let's give it a go. I'm sorry, I do not know your name. In the years after the nuclear war, peoples returned to the ground from shelters and bunkers. Man, this sounds kind of familiar to some other games we've been playing on the channel lately, huh? However, this area is still unsafe. In addition to the imminent depletion of reserves of living materials, the residual radioactive pollutants in the environment are also threatening the health of residents at all times. As a new development commander selected by the former government, can you lead the survivors to rebuild civilization from scratch on the ruins? So this is kind of turning it into a bit of a city builder, I guess? Now I'm going to play this on Brutal because I have no idea if Mega Brutal is doable or not, but with no insurgents, I have to imagine that Brutal is probably the better way to go, so we'll give that a go. Star Nightstick? Okay. Well, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Obviously, construction is much more difficult than destruction. But when you see this sentence, the biggest disaster must have come to an end. When you see this sentence? I don't know what that means in this case. Did we receive like a judgment? Remember, always keep a positive attitude and calm thinking, then the remaining difficulties are not enough to crush you again. Ah yes, optimism. Famously good against radiation. All right, what do we got? So for our civilian, we have basic medical services, environmental radiation detection, school regeneration, and woodcutting. Interesting. Okay, so increase support levels, necessary condition for more infrastructure, decrease hostile levels. Decrease hostile levels can roll out in no intel zones, and environmental radiation detection. Detect the radiation level of water source and land to find suitable water intake in cultivated land. So getting water is usually one of the most important things in any sort of a survival situation. So let's detect radiation and go for a basic water supply. Okay. Beyond that, regional survey, corruption's really high. I feel like I've got to go for some levels of anti-corruption early on. Local militia for zone security. Why would that matter out of curiosity? Maybe to meet like a demand, but not actually against insurgents? I don't know. We'll get the intel for sure. What's this? Artistic creation. Approve residents with artistic talents in the area to leave production appropriately and provide entertainment services. Multiply the global support level. Oh, okay. So that's going to be like your PR. Reserve resources distribution. Okay, reset reputation loss. Temporary crackdown on the corruption. And then, of course, we have construction manager to roll out initiatives. And military has been replaced. Tolerant mode. This will provide initiatives to decrease game difficulty. You must not fund this initiative if you want a challenge. Okay, so this gives me cheat codes. We're going to ignore the military tab pretty much from here on, I do believe. Let's go for wood cutting, and let's go for school regeneration. We're going to have a lot of different initiatives going around. No insurgents means I have to approach this in a totally different way. I'm very concerned about our corruption situation. I'll spend money to go ahead and purge that down a little bit faster. The sooner we get that down, the better, because that's going to be probably my primary threat, is corruption and a lack of stability. More than anything else. Those are the things that could possibly sink my game. Papers, increase support level. Increase and decrease are like all universally misspelled, so pointing it out every single time seems a little bit redundant, but okay. Fast to roll out, yeah. Handicraft industry, also a way to increase the support level. We'll go ahead and do that. I probably should go for a global multiplier pretty soon, but I am starting to lose some reputation due to a lack of stability already. Nobody is demanding anything in particular yet. They probably will eventually. Corruption is starting to cost me a little bit, but it's not that bad. So this is purely a race to figure out a good build order to keep corruption on the down low and stabilize zones fast enough that we can save our reputation and win the game. That's interesting. So lots of support level there. Labor incentive, assess the labor of residents and promise to provide better insurance, family pension. So basically social welfare and safety nets, multiplying that global support level again. I didn't even read these up here. Hang on. Widespread starvation, reputation loss begins when the game is started. Okay. Self-insurance mentality, starting corruption risk and impact of corruption is high. Planned economy, operation gains funds from stable zones, but there is no inflation. I didn't even notice that, but you're right. So the sooner we stabilize even a couple zones, the more money I'll have to spend on infrastructure to kind of snowball and win the game. Urgent demand, impact on concerns is higher, so when those pop up, we need to get on top of that ASAP. And then finally, insurgency never begins, at least in a very long period. And by very long period, you might mean, like, I don't know, 40 years into the game or something ridiculous. Okay, so we're probably not going to have this be one of those scenarios where I end up walking away with like 100-something reputation. We might, but I kind of doubt it. People are demanding electricity and healthcare. Well, let's get the healthcare for sure. I have no idea what leads to electricity, and this is where some of these scenarios can kind of screw you over a little bit. People demand things, and it's very urgent you meet those demands, but because they rearrange things and you haven't changed the icons of like what they're asking for, I don't know what it is, and therefore we can't actually like meet the needs and we lose. That can happen. I'm hoping it doesn't. Lack of stability is starting to get out of control. We are able to meet healthcare needs here in the capital, and once we stabilize a single zone, that should help with the lack of stability at least a bit. So electricity, yeah, all that's getting a problem. Let's roll out construction faster for sure. Mining, maybe? I feel like paper can't be it. Sewage, distillation, grain production. Wow, that's a lot of support level for that. Yeah, maybe mining is what I need. It's hard to say. Physical therapy, that's just a decreased hostility. Which is good, don't get me wrong, but probably not what I'm looking for. So the lack of stability has dropped down to 0.01. Now this will ramp up again at some point and become a problem, but simply stabilizing one zone has saved me a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I'm hoping we're gonna start seeing our income go up a lot more though, but the lack of electricity is a problem. Okay, let's go from mining. There's electricity. All right, thermal power station. Necessary to unlock other infrastructure. $17 is kind of a lot. But we can't afford to ignore this, or some of these zones simply won't stabilize fast enough. And the faster we stabilize them, obviously, the more money we get, and the more we stave off this lack of stability, which you can see is already building back up slowly but surely. So we really need to get that going. I'm noticing, by the way, we're still not really getting any intel, which is kind of weird. I guess we could go for the regional census and gather it up even faster. It is going, it's just really slow. I guess that's kind of okay, though, as long as we can take care of our initial zones first. Significant concern over a lack of electricity. Yeah, duly noted. I'm working on that. That lack of stability has gone back up to 0.83. Okay. Come on, roll out the electricity initiatives and get this going. Come on, roll them out faster. I think that this might be at least partial... What? I thought there weren't... Hello? There weren't supposed to be any insurgents, guys. Unless... You don't think this is one of those weird things where, like, if you don't meet their needs fast enough, it spawns insurgents in a no-insurgent scenario? Oh, that would be interesting. Lack of stability gets reset a fair bit. Excellent, and we should be meeting a lot of needs. Healthcare is still not being met, apparently. Let's go ahead and roll out another set of initiatives. But we should be getting quite a few zones stabilized at this point. I have no way of getting rid of this camp without military units, so I'm going to have to assume that this does nothing, except apparently completely stop my support level from growing up. Or something. All right, telecoms are something people are going to be asking for. We found a way to do that. Holy cram, that's some support level, though. All right, we're doing that. Absolutely, we're doing that. Oh, gosh dang it with the aid, though. All right, let's do basic aid. I'm not going to do much. I want to save some money, get up to 10 as fast as we can, get those telecoms, because that, right there, that is some hefty freaking support level. That'll get me going. Okay. All we need is a little bit of propaganda, you know? A little bit of, post-apocalyptic propaganda. It's going to be fine. And we should be meeting everyone's needs up to this point. So we're okay. Okay. The lack of stability is non-existent. So far, fine. I know we need more intel, but we'll worry about that in a little bit. Actually, maybe worry about it now. We don't need any of these. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab the regional census and then maybe labor incentive for another multiplier on support level. That would be pretty darn impactful, me thinketh. Pretty darn impactful. Anyone asking for anything new that I'm worried about? Answer is no. So far, so good. We're getting intel on more zones. They want education initiatives. That's fine. Once we get intel on you, can start building things, and we'll start building the things that you guys are caring about. For example, we'll start worrying about this in a little bit. Support reduced by 90% there. Yeah, that's how bad this gets. Women's rights after the apocalypse? Nonsense! No, we'll go for full reform there, of course. I mean, why would I ever not do that, right? Labor incentive, all right, boost that up even further. What else are people asking for? Anything new? You may want, like, gosh dang it, better versions of education. Let's expand the schools. How's that? Though at this point, they should be already building it. There we go. School expansion, school transfer. Yeah, we've already met their need. We just needed one level. All right. So once we got the regional census and stuff built up, we're automatically meeting their needs. I think we've got this in the bag. I think we're all right. More camps are appearing, but I honestly I'm just starting to think that's just like a remnant of the game. I don't know that it actually matters. Advanced mining, heavy industry for roads? Sure, why not? I mean, why do we need roads? I don't know. Radio telecom? Probably the best way to get even more support, but all right. It's kind of weird playing this with no insurgents. It's definitely a lot easier. I'm starting to wonder if you need to play this on Mega Brutal in order to get a real challenge to it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But, I don't know. I mean, I can imagine on Mega Brutal, the corruption gets that much worse. And you need extra zones to stabilize in order to get rid of the lack of stability. So, bit risky. I don't know. I think that might become luck dependent. If people ask for things like healthcare and education, sure, you'll be fine. If they ask for telecoms early, well, you're hosed because you aren't going to be able to get enough money to actually roll that out fast enough on Mega Brutal. So, I don't know. I'm not sure how the balance of this works, but I think it's plausible. This is obviously a little on the easy side. We didn't really struggle with this, but I like the idea behind this. Even if it doesn't present a massive challenge, I think the idea of a no-insurgent scenario where you're then kind of racing the clock and your own corruption in order to city build, sort of, is a unique way to twist this. It's kind of one of those unique scenarios that actually takes the mechanics of the game and says, let's reimagine this a little bit. Is it better than the base game? Probably not. Would insurgents make this more interesting? Yeah, probably. But nonetheless, I like where it's going, and I like that it's different. That matters a lot to me. Thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.